Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Physics Surgery. Today we are here with a beautiful problem from the textbook of Irido, right? General problems in physics. And it's a problem number, I think, if I remember, somewhere in the section 3, right? So 3 point, I think 231 or something, where there is a current which enters a plane, conducting plane, and spreads out radially, as you could see in the left part of the diagram. Right, you can refer to that question before you can start doing this particular one, right? So what I have done is to take this beautiful question that I'm a very big fan of, right? I'm usually fan of Irido. So I've slightly modified it so that we can go into the deeper aspects of your understanding of Ampere's law. Okay, so without much further ado, let me share the formal wording of the modified question. Here it is. Okay, right. So there's a direct current I which flows along a semi-infinite wire given by the line that you could see in the diagram. That line is in the XY plane, making an angle of 37 degrees with Y-axis and towards the origin, right? Upon reaching origin, it spreads radially all over an infinite uniform conducting plane coinciding with XY plane. Okay, same as the Irido question. The magnetic field at point R comma minus R comma plus R due to the current that spreads radially on the infinite conducting plane mentioned above is. That's what he's trying to ask you. So what he's giving you here is that the current actually spreads on the XZ plane. Right, it's similar to the one that I had in the previous diagram. So the left of this, you could see how the current is spreading, but in that left one, the current is coming exactly along y-axis, but in the modified version of the problem, it's coming at an angle. Okay, so all right, and also he's asking only the magnetic field due to the spread current, not the whole current. So these are the two important points you need to understand. So you would like to try this problem, I would suggest you give a pause here in the video and then try it for some time and then continue watching the solution of the problem. Okay, right. So let's move ahead. I've pre-written certain important concepts here that you need to know in order to be able to ace this problem, right? The two important concepts of magnetostatics are Ampere's law that you could see on the left of the screen and Biot-Savart law, right, for the straight wire. You could see it on the right side. So let me quickly go through these concepts. Ampere's law for magnetic field, right, static magnetic field, is when currents, you could see I1, I2 and I3. I've taken an example of situation. Okay, so I1, I2 and I3, if they're piercing this plane of the figure, and you could see I1 is going out, I3 is going out, whereas I2 is going into the plane. Then I take an imaginary loop, a planar loop, right? You could see a planar loop here. It need not be planar, but I have taken a planar one here. So called as an Amperian loop, right? Around which if I move and perform the LHS of this equation, LHS is called circulation of magnetic field. It's a path integral, closed loop path integral. Then I would end up getting a right hand side result, which is only dependent on the currents which are enclosed by the loop. Okay, and also the sign of these currents is decided by the right hand thumb rule. Can you see the direction in which the path I have written? If you use right hand thumb rule, the thumb points out of the plane, right? So that means it's trying to tell you that I1 should be taken as a positive sign current and I2 should be taken as a negative sign current, and I3 is not going to be a part of this operation on the right hand side. But very important thing that you need to also understand when you're using this on the LHS that people tend to forget is that what is this B here? This B, is it due to only I1 and I2? No, it is due to all the currents in the universe. Okay, right? So in this universe of the problem that I drew, it is due to all three currents. So this B is due to all currents. This is the most important point that you need to understand in Ampere's law. On the left hand side, when you take B of all currents and then perform the circulation, and then you end up getting on the right hand side that it is independent of it. That doesn't mean B is only due to I1 and I2. So keep that in mind. We will be using that in the solution. Then coming to the Biot-Savart law, it's a pure integration problem, right? So the basic form of Biot-Savart law, you take small dl elements of current here, right? So it's a finite wire. You could see there is a finiteness to it. It's not infinite. So at a point P away from the wire at a distance small r, as you could see, its location is guaranteed by two angles, θ1 and θ2, that it makes with the ends of the wire. You could see at the ends of the wire, it makes an angle θ1 and θ2 with the shortest distance line. line. Okay, in terms of these parameters, magnetic field at P only due to the short wire is given by this formula. Okay, so there's a small error that I made here. Let me correct it. There is, yeah, this is 4 pi r. Okay, right. I think now it's perfect. So mu naught I by 4 pi r into sine theta 1 plus sine theta 2. And you can extrapolate this for an infinitely long wire by setting theta 1 and theta 2's limits to 90 degrees. But we would be using the short wire in this particular problem. Okay, so these are the two things. In case you have not well versed with these two concepts, I would request you to go back, read it from your textbooks, and then further proceed. Okay, right. Next one. So I have taken the present problem that I modified. So this is your modified version of the question. And this is the diagram from the hypothetical situation. I'll be using the photograph from the Irido, right, in order to solve that modified version. So you realize one very important characteristic of current here is that if this is a conducting plane, the way the current is going to spread on this XZ plane will be identical to the spread here. The angle at which the current enters to this place has nothing to do with the resistivity or resistance properties of this conducting plane. So I argue that even in the modified problem, the spread would be same as the Irido's question, where there was much more symmetry. Okay, so I conclude that the current spreading on XZ plane in the left side diagram and the current spreading on the right side plane of that Irido's question are identical. Okay, so which means the B due to spread, the magnetic field due to spread here would be equal to the magnetic field due to the spread in the Irido's question. Okay, right. Why I'm hell-bent on taking the symmetry situation? Listen carefully. If I know how to apply the Biot-Savart law in a more symmetric manner, I think I would be able to solve the problem quicker. That's why I converted the modified version of the question into this particular problem. Okay, now where is the point that is recommended, right? So the point which is below XZ plane, he talked about a point. I think let me write it down here: r comma minus r comma plus r. This was the point that he requested. So you know that this is a y-axis, right? So this line is y-axis, so this would be x and this would be z in this direction. So it will be below this plane, right? That point would be below this plane. So let me draw with a dotted line to just indicate. Okay, right? So along this y-axis, I mean, I need to go in this direction and then go below also. Okay, so I'll just draw a smaller looking one. So like this and like this and like this. So it will be below the plane. I hope you can visualize that. Okay, right. And let me shade that plane. This plane is definitely a vertical plane, but it would be a plane which bisects the x and z axis at 45 degrees. And that's the importance of x coordinate is r and also z coordinate is r, which means, can you see this line that I have drawn from y axis should have a length of root 2 r. Let me write it there. This length would be root 2 r. Okay, right. So what I'll do is I'll take this plane and this wire and redraw the diagram by turning that into the plane of the diagram, right? So I'm just turning this diagram and making sure that the entire plane fits my picture here. So I'll draw the wire. Let's suppose the wire is like this. This is the wire, right? And that red shaded region will look like this in my picture after turning it. So something like this it will look like. Okay, let me shade that for you so that it will enhance your visualization. So this is the thing that I'm talking about. And this wire, remember, it's semi-infinite. So on the upper side, it will be at infinity. So it's extending to infinity at this place. So this is the origin 0, 0, 0. So if this is 0, 0, 0 origin, right? What is this distance? I think this distance you realize is your root 2r. Okay, and this distance is your r. Okay, so that this point is that r comma minus r comma r. So I've just turned that picture so that it can fall in my plane here, right? So now this is equivalent to finding out what is the magnetic field due to this wire. Okay, the reason is very simple. in the original Irados question, if I were to take a Amperian loop at the bottom, somewhere here, right? Amperian loop, if I take at this particular point, and I circle around like this, under the plane, right? Remember, this circle that is going is under the plane. Okay, it's a circular Amperian loop under this plane. So how will that Amperian loop look like in this picture? I think you will all be able to visualize it very easily as this one. Okay, so this would be the Amperian circle that we are talking about. Okay, so right. And can you see this Amperian loop doesn't cut any currents? Okay, so when you write integration of B bar dot dl for this Amperian loop, since it doesn't cut any current, it would be 0, right? Remember, the current that is spreading would spread off from here. It will not reach in any of this particular plane. Now, what is this B bar about? I think this B bar is due to B straight wire, ST is the straight wire, plus B due to the spread, SP is for the spread, okay? Both dot dl is equal to 0 at that place. Okay, right. And since this point is symmetric point everywhere, the B due to each one of these magnitude wise dot dl should be the same everywhere. So because of the symmetry in this problem, which I can't do that in the actual modified bar problem. Okay, so in this problem, this would be BST bar plus BSP bar into the path length L. Because of the symmetry, I can bring out integral dl on the outside and it will become length L, right? It will get cancelled anyways. So which means the value of B bar due to straight wire and value of B bar due to spread on the plane would be exactly and negative vectors of each other. So to find the spread, it is equivalent to magnitude wise finding the straight wire's value. So using the Ampere's rule and symmetry, we realized that the magnetic field at this place, due to the spread that happens, remember XY plane is here, this point is below the XY plane. So the magnitude of the field due to the spread is equal to the magnitude of the spread field due to the wire. And for the wire, we already know the magnetic field due to the Biot-Savart law that we had in the previous page. So magnitude of required value is equal to, I'll write mu naught I, remember 4 pi into distance into sine of the angles that you are talking about, right? So let me discuss what are the distances, what are the angles. Can you see the distance between this point and the wire's extended line is root 2r. So the bottom here should be filled with that red colored root 2r here. Now coming to the angles part, this is the interesting one. So from the previous picture, you could see that the angles here are measured with respect to the shortest distance line. But can you see the sign convention of the angles? Here, theta 1 is written as positive value if the upper angle is measured in the upper direction. And this is taken as positive if the angle of the bottom is measured in the lower direction. If any reversal happens, then the sign also has to be taken into account. This is another important concept that you need to understand in this problem. I think this is slightly different. For the upper end, the angle, almost if I draw it in a different color like this, it will tend to a 90 degrees, okay, for the upper end, because it has to meet it at infinity. For the lower end, it will go from here to here, right? Let me draw it in a much more clearer manner. Okay, right? So, and what is this angle? This angle would be at theta. Okay, can you help me out with that sine theta? Right, the value of that sine theta magnitude wise is equal to the opposite by hypotenuse. Can you see that green colored one is the hypotenuse? The green colored one, if this is r, and this is root 2r, this hypotenuse would be root 3r. So the value of sine theta is r divided by root 3r, right? Which gives you on the sideline, this would be 1 by root 3. So this is the side calculation that we did, which we'll use. Two important things: sine theta is 1 by root 3, and in the substitution, because this angle is now measured in the upper, remember this is the lower end of the wire and you're measuring the angle in the upper end, right, in the upper direction, therefore you have to respect it with a minus sign. So two important things culminate into making this answer into a sine 90 that obviously is in the upper direction, but minus sine theta, where sine theta I'll substitute as 1 by root 3. So the major calculations that you need here are this and this, and the minus sign, of course. Okay, so what would be the final result here? The final result would be 1 minus 1 by root 3, and root 2, if I take it in, this would be simply mu naught I by 4 pi r stays outside, but inside it will become 1 by root 2 minus root 2 into root 3 makes it a root 6. Okay, this is the value, right? So much to learn from this problem. The reasoning I've already told, right? Each and every step that we wrote in a problem has a concept of its own, and such is the beauty of the questions from Irido, that they are timeless questions. So anyone wants to learn very good skills in the pre-college or even the post-college physics, I think one of the best ways to do that, if you are a lover or a connoisseur of physics, I think Irido is one problem solving set that you would like to complete. Okay, so for our next video, this is the problem I would like you to try, and you can pause here, try it out, and next video on magnetics I'll take up this problem again. There will be multiple concepts that you'll learn through this particular problem on magnetic force on a charge. Okay, right, thanks for watching, and see you again in the next video.